Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning in the U.S. Good morning in the U.K. We are live with another live match. Not live match, pre-match presser. Eddie Howe coming out to do a briefing on what's to come tomorrow, Tuesday, against Arsenal for the FA Cup, the first leg of the semifinals of the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup. Sorry, I'm just waking up. 3 in the morning here in the U.S. But an exciting time, mighty win, an exciting moment, an exciting situation that Newcastle United find themselves in once again. The first leg of the semifinals of the Cup. Very exciting times, but job's still not finished, man. You got to go out there in London and at least get a positive result, and then come
Well,
home
well,
and
here's
finish
the
the job.
thing. Here's the thing. Prior to the Spurs game, I watched a few of the Spurs regular channels, and they were all doom and gloom, saying they were going to get really well and truly hammered.
Hmm.
And watching a number of Arsenal channels yesterday after the Brighton result, all doom and gloom, saying things like, "We will need a 3-0 lead to take from the Emirates.
All right.
If we go to St James's Park, we need a 3-0 lead at least, because we know we're going to get stuffed up there." Uh, and very unhopeful of getting that. So I think this will be the first time ever that we've gone to Highbury, or the
Emirates.
Emirates, whatever it is now, with the home team fearing us. Certainly since the entertainer days, but even then, that was when they were in their prime as well.
All right.
So very interesting.
Well, I don't think anybody wants to play us at the moment, which is
No,
well
quite right
deserved.
too.
Um, But hit the like button, folks. Subscribe if you're new. Become a member if you can. Help us grow the channel. If you're already a member, consider gifting memberships away or super chatting. That helps us grow the channel, keep going. And we're doing nicely, by the way. Great. A lot of people joining to watch us, so that's great. And there we go. So, yep. I mean, by the way, Gary won't be on for a while. He's got the flu. So unfortunately, and of course, he's mentioned himself that his missus is also a bit ill. So yeah, he's a bigger fish to fry. So oh well, best wishes to Gary and the fam. But he shall be back when everybody's healthy. So
Yeah, happy
best wishes.
2025, Gary. Yeah, what a
I know,
start.
man. Started with the left foot, but it's okay. He'll be back. He'll be back. You get. They say you can start with your left foot all you want, but you will step on your right foot eventually. So he'll be back in business soon. I'm just looking at on Twitter right now, and rumors of uh, um, Kubo for 40 million pounds. That's what they I guess Real Sociedad would want for Kubo. I would do that in a heartbeat, man. 40 million for Kubo. That's
Well, you'd almost get that back on shirt sales in Japan, wouldn't you?
yeah, exactly. If you do it right, you should be able to get your money back. And also if he performs as well, because if he doesn't, then I mean, not even his mom would buy his shirt. So just but I mean that would be a good piece of business there. To be fair, but and he's a good right wing. He's not the typical right wing that crosses nonstop. He's in a
He's an inverted.
inverted winger. And listen, they have another threat there. So, and good morning to everybody that's in the chat. Jerry Tune for Life saying that the presser was going to start at 9 a.m. Well, that information is wrong from Craig Hope, unless they're doing the first 30 minutes pre-recorded, because we got the live event in front of us, and it usually starts at 9:30 anyway. So you know that's what
I think it's probably just a typo from Craig
from
Hope,
Craig Hope. Yeah.
because the Geordie Journo's definitely saying 9:30.
So shout out to Roger Cook, Mighty Mag, everybody in the building. Eamon McParlin as well. Good morning, Chris and Mighty Win. Eamon here
Amen.
from Amen. From the Emerald Isle. Where is that at?
Ireland. The
Emerald
Emerald
Isle.
Isle is Ireland. It's a nickname
Was
for Ireland.
okay. And where's that at?
Eamon McParland, why don't you contact the website? Get in touch with us on the website, NUFC Talk TV, NUFC Talk.tv, and give us your details, contact details, and we'll get you on the international show.
Which we haven't had in forever. So I mean, I don't know how good that's gonna be. But where's the Emerald Island? What country is that? What is
It's
it?
Ireland. It's a nickname
Oh,
for Ireland.
Ireland. Ireland.
Ireland.
Okay, well that makes sense. Ireland. So you are a leprechaun, Eamon.
That's now you're there.
Mark Todd in the building as well. I was looking at it Arsenal channel, and someone mentioned that Odegaard looked ill the other day when he was playing and didn't have any energy. Fingers crossed, he'll be the same against us.
Well,
Well,
that
he is
was
a proper.
according again, listening to the Arsenal channels. This mystery illness that Pep was on about. That the not Pep, Super Mick was on about was hangovers from the New Year's Eve celebrations. He's not a
Well,
happy bunny, apparently.
well, we don't know about that, but I mean, won't be the first one. Livermentum had an illness as well,
Uh,
right after New Year's, or was it? Yeah, New
no,
Year's.
no,
Yeah.
that was before.
Well, and then
But of
Christmas.
course, they played New Year's Day, didn't
Yeah, yeah. Strasbourg Steve in the building as well. Shout out to Steve. Highway the lads, he says. Infamous Short Billy in there, and everybody else. So, yep. It's going to be a tough one. We're going to do the match preview tonight, of course. So stay tuned for that. But I mean, it's going to be a tough match, nevertheless. Although we're in a good form, and it could be another test. We got to get it done now against Arsenal, and Newcastle are going to be faced with test after test after test to prove that they are here for real. And semifinals, man, of the cup is not going to be easy business, but I mean, we can certainly do it. Just imagine on the positive end of things, if we beat Arsenal 3-0. I mean,
they? Play the kids against them
or
in the
or or,
second leg.
or, or 2-0, just 2-0, which is very feasible to be fair. And that's being positive, of course, but right now we have nothing. We can only go on positive. Um, we scored 2 goals against Tottenham at their stadium. And I know that we haven't. I don't know the last time that we won. I think 2010, maybe the last time that we won at Arsenal. Uh, and Emerald Isle is Ireland. Shame on you, says Eamon. Well, I mean, actually do know. Actually do. Now it makes sense, but I just didn't think about it. It's 3 in the morning, man. Give me a break. It's 3 in the morning in the U.S. So come on now. Um, But yeah, so a lot of people in the chat though. Let's actually be interesting to see because people can still vote for in the community of the channel what the predictions is going to be. But let me take a look at what people are saying as of now. So if you go to the community of this channel, we got 472 votes. Newcastle win is 48%. 48% feel like we're going to win. 16% that Arsenal will win, and 36% that we will draw. So imagine that. I mean, a draw wouldn't be bad. It's just so much, man. So much that can go
Listen,
wrong or
man,
right.
the form that we're in right now, we've got nobody to fear at all. Nobody. We even played badly yesterday on Saturday.
We didn't play badly though.
In comparison to the way we had been playing,
Yeah.
everybody was kind of down a notch, and we still won away at one of the big six. All but their league position tells you that they're not living up to their big six reputation. However, it's still a daunting place to go, and we went there, took our pants down, had Big Ange whinging his socks off. We're in a good place, Let nobody tell you otherwise. We're in a very good place.
Yeah,
And
well, that is
long
right.
may it continue.
We are in a good place. That doesn't mean, I mean, eventually we're not going to win everything. So
Well, if you'd said before Christmas, before the Leicester game, if you'd said before the Leicester game, we're going to win every game up to and through the new year, including Man U away, including Tottenham away, people would have thought you were balmy. But that's exactly what we did. Because we're good. We're a good side. We did what good sides do. Played under par and still beat them.
I still get the, I do agree with that. That's this is part of it. Um, and I
People
think
are
we get,
saying we won ugly. I didn't think we won ugly. I
I
thought we
think we
won
won
fair
ugly
and
though.
square.
No, but winning ugly doesn't mean that you didn't deserve the win. You deserved the win, but you know it was an ugly match at the end. Um, but in no way, shape, or form did Tottenham deserve the win.
No, I
You
agree.
can argue maybe a draw, even that, not even though, because they didn't create enough. You know, having the ball doesn't earn you the right to equalize a game. So not even they didn't deserve it. So
Well,
you
I
know,
mean,
Newcastle
as
did.
far as having the ball's concerned, it was like 54-46 or something. It was near enough even money.
Right. So I mean, you know, yesterday we did a show on all the uproar, but I don't think it was warranted. I think it was more just the media that wanted to, you know, create all that. I mean, they had to create controversy. Um, I mean, I guess they got it, but as far as I'm concerned, Newcastle won fair and square, and simple as that. You know, and here's the thing. eh, I mean, Newcastle fans know that we won fair and square. That's all that really matters as far as I'm concerned. Other than Spurs fans, if they really want to fix their issue, they're gonna have to look deep in the mirror, and because a loss to Newcastle or supposedly an unfair play with the handball wasn't is not the reason why their season is horrific.
Well,
So
even without that, they still wouldn't have won. They would have
yes,
drawn.
exactly, exactly.
Uh, but I think the reason possibly that they didn't win was because they left their best players on the bench, and they were a better team when they came on. Basuma and Madison and Son. Who knew, eh? Put your best players on and you win football
Well,
matches.
I've been telling you that for a long time.
Somebody else I know has been saying stuff like that.
Exactly. There you go. But look at that. Mighty Wayne come to his senses, man. Must be too early for him. Must be too early. By the way, we got literally a week. In a week's time. In a week's time. Like today, I would be leaving. I still wouldn't be in the UK right now, though.
Leaving on a jet plane.
It would be probably a week from tomorrow. I will be leaving the 13th, a week from now, but I'll be there the 14th, about 11 a.m. in the tune. So it'll be lovely. It'll be cold as hell, I'm sure. So hell yeah, baby! I'll be in the tune next week, man. I'll be in the tune. I can't wait to get some of that food, some of that Greg's, some of that. Well, I mean that Greg's is not really gonna fill me up though, so that's just like a small snack. So we need proper steaks, man. But we'll talk about that, of course. We are literally 6 minutes away from the live presser. Any tough questions? Any questions that you would like answer, Mighty Win?
Um, well, I would like to know how he thought the double left foot centre back pairing worked, which everybody was very worried about, myself included to a degree. And after 3 minutes, I was starting to think, whoa, this ain't going to work.
Mm.
When, because, there's absolutely nobody else to blame for their first goal but Botman, allowing Sri Lanka to get in. But, you know, as has been commented on many times, first time in that position, coming back after a lengthy spell out, not match fit, not match ready quite yet. And Sri Lanka did him. Simple as. because nobody else, the build up to that goal was a fantastic uh, cross from Porro, meet and drink to a decent centre forward. But here's the thing for all the Isaac. Would Isaac have got his head to that? I don't think he would.
Head to what?
To the goal that Solanke scored.
Oh my God,
Would
bro! Fuck
Isaac
me,
have been
man.
able to muscle Botman off the
It's,
ball the way Solanke did
dude, it's too early
and
for
stick
this
it in?
nonsense, man. I swear to God, it's too early for this nonsense.
That's all I'm saying. That's
Isak
all I'm
is
saying.
yeah. Well,
However, in the last couple of games, when the ball's been on the deck, he's certainly shown more strength of late than he had previously done.
yeah.
So things are looking good in that respect as well.
Rowley here has a fair question that I actually thought myself.
Rolly, hello there, son.
Um,
Happy New Year.
about Happy New Year, Rowley, and he says good to see Botman back. Do you think he will play on Tuesday? I expect him to play on Tuesday.
Oh, I would think so, yeah.
If Eddie Howe put him in already, with no the usual Eddie Howe 6 months of getting back to match fitness BS, and he just put him straight away. That you can assume that he's going to play
Yeah. And
as soon as possible.
you could have thought, if the rules weren't different, you might have thought that he might rest Burn, because the one thing he wouldn't want, with the two yellows in the same competition, missing that next round, etc., that doesn't apply from now on. It's just previous bookings. This is
Eh,
why Cher and Bruno aren't playing.
right.
But
He's going to have to play.
once after kickoff, all yellow cards in the competition are wiped. So you would need to get a yellow, for example, in both legs of the semi-final for to miss the final.
Right. I think Botman will start anyway because we need him. And I think he did a fairly decent job, a good job, in my opinion. He is extremely big. I mean, he's just that center back that you need.
I
He's
mean,
very strong.
there you were asking what questions I would ask Eddie. One question that I might ask him is, if we're in this desperate centre back situation, and you chose to throw Botman straight in for the full 90 minutes, what does that say about your faith in Lloyd Kelly, who's sitting there picking up 150 grand a week wages as he never seek the cease to
Well, I'm the man.
remind
I
us?
cannot believe what I'm hearing, man. This is a different mighty win. This is a mighty win that woke up with the right foot. You know what I mean? This is a mighty win that's making sense. My goodness, I would have never thought just before I got to Newcastle, man. Thank goodness, because I'm gonna get there. He's gonna get me lost. But I agree with you, man. I don't know. I don't know what Lloyd Kelly is there to do. To be fair, and if we still pursue Mark Gahey, which the rumors have slowed down. To be fair, the links as of late. I don't know if that's good or bad. But
Am I missing something now? We've got two in the chat there. Roger Cook saying Kelly scare, and Beard saying that's J7 out of the final.
now, well, about Beard, about the possibility of the double card, like one yellow card here, one yellow card in the
Right.
in the
That's
second,
what saying. He picks one up in both legs, right?
so they're gonna all have to be careful. So tonight, though,
And
for
that's he. By the way, he's the one player that all the Arsenal channels have been saying they fear. They say J7 will flatten their midfield if they play Mourinho and Odegaard and what have you.
uh, give your thing a quick refresh. So because it's already 30 after, so just gotta make sure we're right on it. Usually don't need to, but
There you go.
click on the play, man.
It's not. It hasn't started yet. Oh, Eddie's here.
But you gotta click on the play thing.
Yeah.
Come on, wake up, old man. Full screen, and we should be able to get Eddie Howe in any minute now. So yeah, a lot of questions definitely about Botman. I would ask about well, not really about Dubravka because Pope is not ready anyway. So that's going to be a question when Pope gets back. Definitely. Um, what's the issue there? And maybe more about is there a way to persuade Dubravka to stay? Because there's some rumors are
Well,
saying that he's going to
here's the
leave
thing.
in winter.
Here's the thing. Dubravka's under contract. So if we
Yep.
want to keep him to the summer, we'll keep him till the summer. End of. Okay, it means we'll lose whatever we're going to get for him in January. Do we do that? It's not something I'd be doing. I'd be saying, it's all very well looking after the player's interest, but you look after the club's interest first. And right now, he's doing a great job, and we need him.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think that Dubravka getting money for Dubravka is really substantial enough to say okay, let's sell him immediately. No,
Exactly.
I think it's about trying to persuade him to stay. In my opinion. No, he's 30. What 35, 36. People might not like the idea, but I think Dubravka. I'll be honest with you. I haven't felt as secure with Pope this season than when Dubravka came in. Oh, secure at goal with the goalie. Dubravka has given me personally a sense of security on many on different levels. I mean, some people say Pope is a great shot stopper, but I don't think Dubravka falls too far behind. So, but yeah,
And the other thing was, especially against Villa and Man United away, defenders who were under a bit of a press were comfortable passing him fast, quick balls on the deck. That had they done that with Pope, I'd have been pooping me pants. And he just
yeah,
handled them with consummate ease.
surprised it hasn't started yet. Just
Well, it has. It
what do you mean it
has
has?
because
I mean,
he's been asked about Dubravka already.
well, I know there's a little bit of delay usually, but I mean, we usually do get the feed. Let me start it on my phone and see what's happening there. Well, it's still not showing it on my phone, so
No.
uh, we'll only go off obviously what when they give us the feed, and of course, the journalists are there already, so they're always going to be the first ones to get anything anyway to put out there on X. So we're waiting on the signal from Newcastle, and Eddie Howe speaking. So um, they should start soon. The event is about to start. So people having their opinion, of course. David Hargrave, welcome mate, says Dubs is better at distributing the ball. I agree, and look at this day and age, that's like, and look, I'm very old school. I've said I need a shot stopper, but I think Dubravka is a shot stopper, and so, but now in this day and age, you're going to have to be able to play with the ball, man. This is 2025. It's not, you've got to be able to know. You've got to be able to perform with your feet. So, or at least not be detrimental to the team when you're past the ball. Which in this day and age, that shouldn't be happening. That you're scared to give the ball to your goalkeeper. So there we go. I got the feed here. Let me see if you get it. If not, you're gonna have to refresh. There we go. We got it. So there's Edward Howe, Edward James Howe. Let's take a listen.
Not really.
Reza, when you're ready.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Reza.
I just want to check on a couple of players.
from Saturday. Firstly, Sven Botman. I know you spoke about him after the game, but that was a lot to get through after so long out. Have you had a chance to assess him since Saturday, and how is he?
Yeah, he feels good. Naturally, a little bit of fatigue at the end of the game. I think with Sven, yes, it was a long absence, but he's trained for a long, long time for this moment. And from the Aston Villa game onwards, he was cleared to play. But we wanted to give him longer to try and reach his best physical levels. So it's not like he's been rushed back. But straight into action, did very well. Really pleased with him. I think regardless of how you train and what you do, Premier League is different to anything else, and you can't really prepare for that intensity that comes. But he handled it really well.
You've got a lot of midweek football this month, including tomorrow in the semi-finals of the League Cup. With a player like Sven Botman, do you have to phase him back, or do you feel he's ready just to play regularly now if you choose that?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think we have to speak to the player, we have to speak to the medical team and the experts that will give me the some of the answers to what we do with him next. But I think Sven's a competitor. He is hugely driven for the team and for himself. Wants to do really well in his career. So I've got no doubts what he will say, but we need to, as I say, speak to other people and then try and come up with the right decision.
And how's Anthony Gordon doing after sustaining that quite nasty facial injury in the second half?
Yeah, Anthony was in a bit of discomfort, I'd say, only with the cut, which was a nasty-looking one. Looking back at the decision, I thought it was a foul. I thought it was a clear penalty. And he came away from that incident, as I say, with blood on himself. So we dusted him down. He went back on the pitch and performed really well for us. I thought he had a really good game. So we'll see how he is today.
Once again, you won't have Fabian Schär available because of suspension, but also against Arsenal in this first leg. There'll be no Bruno either because of a one-match ban in the League Cup. How big a blow is it to lose your captain, particularly with the form that he has been in recently? Yeah,
it's a big blow. I think Bruno, one of his biggest strengths is he's always there for you. His appearance record has been brilliant for us, especially when you consider the physical exertion that he commits to every game. His training is very good. He's been exceptional in every way. So to lose him, and he's a pivotal figure for us, is going to be a big miss. But we have big players that can fill his shoes as well. So whoever I choose in that position, I think we've got quality players coming in. And how do you balance that need to pick as strong a team as you possibly can, but also maybe give minutes to players who need it? Because you've had a lot of games recently, there are a lot more coming up, and the changes you made on Saturday were made probably quite late in the game as well, and it was another big physical effort. Yeah, it was, but I think you ask any player, and I will ask every player how they are physically, they'll all say they're fine to play. There'll be no issues. So the players' desire is always to play, and we have to try and pick the best players physically for the game. It's a massive game for us, we're under no illusions how big this game is for us this season. So I think part of our strength recently has been the fact that we have been consistent with the team selection, so let's see what we do. Final one, League Cup semi-finals are played over 2 legs. There is, curiously, a wait of about 4 or 5 weeks until the second leg at home. But do you like the fact that you have 2 goes at this, or would you prefer it to be a one-off, not whether it's at home or away? Is a one-off semi-final better, do you think? I'll tell you after the first game. I don't know, I think it's quite an interesting dynamic. I quite like it. But I think that this is an important game for us. I think this sets up what's going to happen afterwards. We need to be at our absolute best. This is a high-level game, a lot at stake for both teams. We need to be ready.
Thanks, Reza. Keith?
And you say that it's a high-level game, massive game. With the run that you're on right now, the confidence that's going through the team, what that then does is heightens the sort of belief of the support that you can get to the final. You can go all the way. Is that something that the players are gonna have to deal with?
I think emotionally, we 2 big highs in recent games: the Manchester United win and the Tottenham win. They're big results for us. But I've seen a really good reaction to those wins. Nothing too excitable from us, which is great. I think we need to become accustomed to playing in big games like this. So I've seen a really sort of level response emotionally, and it's just on now to the next one, which is, of course, the Arsenal game, and we look forward to it.
And you're missing Bruno for this first leg, but your midfield three, or the three that you've chosen over the last few games, they've been getting a lot of credit externally. I've heard a few people saying that, arguably the best midfield three in the Premier League at this moment in time. Would you go along with that?
I'm not watching every Premier League game, so it's a difficult one to comment on. I love the three players we have in there at the moment. I love the three players that aren't in there at the moment as well, that we have within the squad. So I think it's a strong area for us at the moment. I think they're performing very well. I think they're building really good relationships with each other. And that's why losing Bruno from that trio will be a disruption. Doesn't mean necessarily negative for us, but a disruption to the normal rhythm and how we've played in recent games. I think the biggest compliment I can pay them all is what they're giving us, not just in possession, which I think is the easier side of the game, but off the ball I think they've been excellent. They've helped us defend lots of different situations really well, and I think they're highly intelligent players, delivering and playing well.
Yeah, I think there was a stat. I think I saw a match of the day afterwards that your three midfielders were the top three in terms of their output, out of possession, the ground covered across both teams in that game, which I think just says everything about what they're putting in.
Yeah, I think they're very good athletes, and they're aware of the importance off the ball. Sometimes you can get really good technical players that's almost a secondary thought, and they're not really interested. But I think the great thing about those three players is they all recognise that the team needs to perform in both phases of play. But they are very good on the ball as well, and they've brought a calmness and a composure to our build-up play, which I think from this moment hopefully will only improve as well. I think we can get better in that respect. But I've been really pleased with how they've formed their way of working.
In Alexander Isak, you've got a striker who's in red-hot form at the moment, scored in his last 7 games. Is he entering the field right now expecting to score? Do you get that vibe from him?
Yeah, I think he will naturally. I think when you're on the run of goal-scoring games that he is, I think you go in with a different viewpoint than if you're not. I think the team, most importantly, is creating for him as well. I don't think this is him doing it on his own. I think the team's playing in a really good way that's creating chances not just for Alex but for other players as well. We're seeing goals come from different aspects of the team. So I think when you go on the run that we've gone on, you wouldn't be doing that if it was just down to one player. So Alex is playing his part in that by finishing the moves off, but delighted with how the team's creating them for him.
Just finally from me, one on transfers, if you don't mind. There was a report in Saudi Arabia over the last sort of 48 hours that Martin Dubravka may be allowed to leave after the Arsenal game. I know you spoke about him on Friday, and you said that you need to sort of respect his wishes in this whole situation. Is there any truth to that? Has there been anything that's changed since we spoke at the weekend?
No, we're just concentrating on the games. I think massive game against Tottenham now, massive game very quickly against Arsenal. There's no talk of anything else other than the matches. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Nisha?
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
You said to Ray that you quite like the dynamic of the two legs, but how much does it change your approach? Because I guess obviously you want to win, but the most important thing is putting yourself in a position to win that second leg.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you could talk about the dynamic of the two games at length, but the reality is we're just playing another game. We're playing an 11v11 game for 90 minutes away from home, and we've got to do all the same things that we've been doing well in recent games. We've got to be really good off the ball. We've got to be solid defensively. We've got to pose Arsenal problems the other way. So I think as long as we get that mix right, I don't think we should overthink it. Let's continue or try and continue the good performances we've given and give our absolute best to try and win the game.
I think you were asked something similar at the weekend about what's been the difference with this fantastic run that you've been on, because the win against Spurs was very different to the win against Man U. How is this team finding ways to win but also absorb the pressure that Tottenham put you under as well, particularly in that second half?
Well, I think every Premier League game is so different. The tactical side of the game. Manchester United to Tottenham, they're two very different teams, and you need to adapt to both teams. So they're going to be different games. Conceding early was a massive blow in the game, a great response from the group. To score so soon afterwards and to come back and win away from home isn't easy, especially against a team the quality of Tottenham. So I just think every game we take independently. The Arsenal game now will be totally different again. So we're going to have to adjust and adapt and try and find a way to win.
Does the proximity of two trips to North London very close together coming back in between, has that had much of an impact on you and the players?
No, I think we're used to it. I think the travelling aspect is something you become accustomed to. I mean, I think we had to do that a lot, of course, last season in the Champions League, and getting used to that. I mean, obviously it's not out of the country, it's minimal travel really for us, and we travel well, so I'd expect that not to have an impact.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nisha. We'll start with Damien. Would you like to start?
Hi, Eddie. How do you think your team has developed since you got to the final of this competition 2 seasons ago?
Developed since?
Yeah.
I think we've come a long way since then. I think I was asked a question recently about the Champions League season and the team then, and I haven't watched a game back from that season for a long time. So sometimes your memory plays tricks with you in terms of what you delivered. But I remember that team then being very solid defensively. Obviously, we had a couple of different players in there as well, so I think naturally that changes the dynamic. But I think we've come a long way. I think our game's evolved. I certainly think we've evolved quite a bit tactically since then. Game moves on very quickly in the Premier League. I say it all the time. Probably month by month it changes slightly, so you have to change with it. So I think we've seen quite a consistent changing in certain aspects of what we do.
You've spoken in the past about part of this project being sort of to convince your big players that they can fulfil their dreams here. Do you think they're starting to believe that again?
I hope so. I mean, I think it's a difficult question for me to answer. I think the players are always the better ones I can't answer on their behalf, but I think they seem happy at the moment. The group seems in a good place, coming in, training well. There's a positive vibe about the group. Of course, we have big games and we're doing well in the big games at the moment, so I think naturally that brings a good feeling to what we're doing. But I think that it's a two-way thing. Of course, we have to provide the right conditions for the players and try and give them the right structure within the team for them to play well and enjoy their football. But of course, they have to do their part and they have to play well, and they certainly are at the moment.
Thanks, Damien. We'll go Luke and then Craig, please.
Morning.
Morning, Luke.
One of your sort of standout quotes, one of your rare standout quotes, some would say, was that you're not here to be popular or liked, you're here to compete. Do you think this team's got that kind of mentality again at the minute? Because you seem to be ruffling feathers everywhere you go at the moment.
Ruffling feathers. We certainly want to be competitive. I mean, I think I've said many times, I don't remember saying that quote.
Definitely said it.
I'm sure I said it, but I don't remember saying it. And it certainly wasn't sort of meant to be a standout line, but I'm pleased some people liked it, because for me that's absolutely where we need to be. The competitive side of our game has to be there regardless of the opponent, regardless of the competition. We are here to try and win, and that is ultimately what we're driven for. The popular stuff, I mean, I don't really care what happens outside of Newcastle. The perception other teams have of us, it doesn't really worry me. It's all about us and making sure we're happy with who we are and happy with how we're performing.
That leads quite nicely onto my second team. What's this group like to manage as a bunch of characters?
I think it's a great group of people. I enjoy coming in every day. I'm very proud to represent them. Of course, you always have good and bad moments. And I think when you're managing a team of, I'm talking the players here, just the players alone, 30 players, there's always going to be difficult moments to navigate. But I think they're very respectful generally and very humble as well, want to learn and get better. So I really enjoy the day-to-day interactions that I have with.
I presume this, as when you came to Newcastle, this was the kind of games you wanted to see more regularly. This is your second semi-final in 3 years. You must be pleased that you're adding that kind of level of expectation where you get to these stages in competition.
Yeah, very much so. I think the big games are what we train for, and that's what everything you do during your playing career is to try and reach the pinnacle and experience the biggest games and the best competitions. Now, the Champions League for us was an unbelievable experience. We'd love to get back there again. But it's very much the same with the Carabao Cup final, which was I think looking back was a great experience, but the experience ultimately was a negative one. So we want to, if we can, try and go back there and end up with a different result.
Craig?
Morning, Eddie. From a coach's perspective, this game, it was kind of different 2 years ago in Southampton because you went into it as favourites. Do you see tomorrow night as 90 minutes or 45? Do you have to have a different approach whereby you've got that second leg in mind? Or do you just go there, you play your 4-3-3, your attacking principles, or do you do something different?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think for us, I think we're at our best when we just see the game and we don't overthink things. I think there's a danger that you can tie yourself into knots. Second guessing yourself, really. It's a game of football. It's 90 minutes. Yes, of course, that'll only be half time and we'll have a second chance regardless of the outcome. But I think a positive approach, seeing us play our way, I think is our best chance of getting a positive result.
2 weeks ago when you went into fifth, we sat here and we spoke about the project and things which can make those top players stay here, and we agreed on Champions League football would no doubt help. With regard to Cup as well and silverware, how important is that in sending a message to those big players already at the club and potential targets outside, just ending that run and bringing back a trophy?
Yeah, I think it would no doubt help us in every respect, whether that's whatever angle you want to take. But we can't concern ourselves with that and the outcomes. It's all about, right, now we have Arsenal and that's hard enough. So all our focus is going on to Tuesday's game, and then we'll put it to bed and focus on the FA Cup.
We've got Ian and then Lee.
Morning. Bruno, as you said, has been a near ever present for since you've been here, since he arrived. Is it a simple case of bringing in a replacement and asking to replicate the role, or do you need to alter the midfield's dynamic?
I laugh because almost trying to find someone to play like Bruno, that's not easy. But I do understand the direction of the question. But no two players are alike, and you have to look at the player that you bring in and try and get him to play to the best of his ability, suiting his style, really. So, no, I've got no doubt that it will be a slight change for us to be without Bruno. Only he can do what he does. But that doesn't mean it can't be effective for the team, whatever change we make. So we'll have to try and look at that and find the right balance to the team again, because the balance, I think, has been so good in the last few games. That's why we've executed what we have. So getting the balance of the team again with a new player coming in or potential new players coming in is something we'll have to look at closely. And
in your own mind, do you know who will replace him, or is it a very tight call between one or two players?
No, it's a tight call. I think we have probably 3 or 4 options that I could look at to do that. I think I've got a pretty good in my idea in my own mind which way I'll go, but it is a tight call.
Eddie, on the captain thing, I mean, you've got Kieran Trippier in the dressing room anyway, regardless of who you pick. How important is his experience going to be, given all them big finals and Euro semi-finals he's had with England, etc.?
Yeah, I think we have a few players that have those credentials. Trips is a player that always lends his experience to every moment that we're in. I mean, he was a little bit ill before the Tottenham game, but he was absolutely first class during the game, helping players before the game, during the game, and afterwards. First class professional. So he's been excellent the last few weeks, coming back into the team and playing as well as he has. But he always helps, and I think there's 3 or 4 others that have got those big game experiences that will naturally help as well. But I think ultimately, as a group, I think we're pretty experienced now. I think I don't look at that as a weakness. So I expect us to be ready for what's ahead.
On Lewis Miley, I mean, last season he had a dream season, getting all those firsts. This season, obviously, he's going to have to fight his way into the team. Have you had any sort of chats with him to try and reassure him that his opportunity will come along?
Yes, I have, of course. Regular contact with Louis. I think he's in a good place. He's come back from his injury and he's looked good. He's trained now for a long period of time. He's building that robustness that only training for that length can give you. He's ready to play, I'd say. I'd have no concerns about putting him into the team. He's got that big game experience that you're talking about. He's played in the Champions League at some really tough grounds and done very well. So he's a valuable member of the squad.
And just on transfers, do you find yourself in a position where you're having to talk about football logic to some of the people around you, or does the business logic have to come in because of the PSR, and an unpopular departure might have to happen this month?
Yeah, I think the business logic is taking over from the football logic. I think that will be the way for not just for us, but for lots and lots of clubs, because there may be football decisions you'd like to make, and nothing I'd think will be bigger than the previous summer, where we had to lose 2 highly promising young players. We were forced to. We had no choice. So that was very much the business taking over the football, and I think we're still in that position to a degree.
Thanks, Lee. We've got Martin and then Chris.
Morning, Eddie.
Morning, Martin.
A lot was made after your 0-0 at Arsenal in 2023. There was criticism of your tactics at the time. Did that frustrate you back then?
Just trying to think back. No, I don't think so. As I said, I think we reflect a lot and analyse a lot of what we do tactically. It's a massive part of the game now. So I think when you get a positive result like we did that night, I think it was a good, really good defensive performance. Maybe not so much attacking wise, but defensively outstanding. We did a lot right to get that draw. And then, of course, we consult with the people that we think matter, and then the outside opinion is almost irrelevant to us.
And a difficult question, but is there any irony at all that Arsenal seem prepared to embrace more or less anything in their desire to win the Premier League this season?
What Arsenal do is absolutely up to them, and we know that this is going to be a really difficult game for us, so I've got full respect for them.
And can you say what you're prepared to do or what you're prepared to give to win a trophy here?
Well, we give everything. I can guarantee that. There'll be no stone left unturned in terms of our preparation and hopefully the execution from the players. So, yeah, we'll do everything we can within the rules to try and achieve that.
Chris?
Morning, Eddie. One player who could come in the midfield for Bruno is Joe Willock, and obviously a former Arsenal player. He's had his injury problems over the last 18 months, 2 years. Where is he at physically? And I mean, at the weekend, he even ended the game at centre forward for you as well, so it's a different role for him.
Yeah, I thought he did really well when he came on Saturday. I was really pleased. It was a moment in the game. I think it was quite a bit of time left with the extra time, and Alex was physically done. So I needed someone that I could trust tactically to play a certain role. We asked him to do a real job for the team for, I don't know, however long he was on with extra time. He did it brilliantly. And he showed his sort of understanding of the game is at a really high level. I think Joe is probably in his best condition than he's been for a long time. He's been able, again, to stay fit and train for a long period of time, which he hasn't had for so long. He's had very stop-to-start time, different injuries, different problems. But I'd say he's an undoubted game changer for us. He's got brilliant physical capabilities. He's got a goal in him. He's creative. So Joe Willock at his best is a great asset for us to have. And yes, I'm of course aware of the Arsenal connections for him, but he's just a great player in his own right.
And you've spoken quite a bit about Jacob Murphy and the impact that he's made in the team. I mean, that combination of him and Alexander Isak, he seems to be laying on a lot of goals for him. He seems to almost be a throwback in terms of being quite direct as a winger, in terms of getting to the byline and whipping crosses in. How different a dynamic does he bring to the team?
Well, he's old-fashioned in the sense that he's a right-footed player playing on the right-hand side, which I think is a good dynamic for us. Probably Jacob's standout quality is his crossing ability. Very good, whether it's high crosses, low crosses. He's got that ability to to drive in field and then take the line and produce for us. And Alex has been the beneficiary of that on a number of occasions this season. But not only that with Jacob, I think tactically he's got a really high level understanding of what the game needs. So we've asked him to do lots of various roles defensively. He's delivered them absolutely brilliantly for us. So very underrated in that respect.
Thanks, Chris. We've got Mark at the back and then Dom, please.
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
The mood around the club is probably as high as it's been for maybe 12, 15 months. Is there a real feeling around the club that you can do something really special in 2025?
Yeah, I'd say the mood around the club, if you're talking the training ground for us, which is, of course, where we spend most of our time, has always been pretty consistent. It's been good. Staff here are very, very good, very positive people. The players have always been positive, and even when results weren't so good and perceived negative responses around everything, the players were very good. I had no issues with sort of our general feeling. Of course, it helps when you win, and that gives you a natural boost. So the players, I'd say, are in a good place at the moment. But we know we take nothing for granted. Every game, we approach the same way.
You mentioned there a little bit about transfers. The market's been fairly quiet. I think you mentioned a couple of months ago that you thought it could be another very quiet January. Is it going as you'd expected it? Is those the vibes that you're getting from the market that it's going to be another quiet one?
Yeah, of course, I'm not on the front line, so I'm not necessarily speaking to agents and sort of getting the interactions and the feeling that other people at the club would have a far better understanding of that. But yeah, I don't think it's taking too many turns away from what I thought the reality would be. But that's not to say that anything is cut and dried, because the transfer market, like anything, can be unpredictable. It might just take one big move somewhere that sets a chain reaction off. So we're ready for anything. We're able to, I think, be flexible.
Just finally from me as well, Sandro's performances have been so consistent and consistently excellent since he's come into the team. I mean, can you just give us an idea or a flavour of how he is? He seems a very level guy. It doesn't seem like he sort of has these peaks and troughs, but his performances have been so good, like somewhat kind of what he brings to the team and his kind of emotional.
Yeah, I mean, I said this many times last year when people would ask me about how he was handling the difficult situation that he was in, and I said you wouldn't really know. He's just very level. He's just a very good professional. He trained brilliantly last year, and he's exactly the same character that you saw in that difficult moment now. And I think that's a great compliment to him, because he's very focused on the future. He's very focused on being at his best, delivering what the team needs, and I think you can see that in his performances. He's bang on with the small details. He's bang on with helping the team defend, and then of course his obvious qualities, technical qualities, come out, and the way the midfield's played, he's been a huge role in that. Delighted with how he's come into the team and how confident he looks at the moment.
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
VAR is in place tomorrow night's game for the first time in the competition this season. There's a trial of referees announcing decisions in the stadium. Do you welcome that change and that increased transparency, or have you almost enjoyed not having VAR in the previous rounds?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because the Brentford game, which is the last round, was the Brentford game the last round? Yeah. So many games. I think I enjoyed not having VAR in that moment, and that's because we scored goals and you saw the linesman flag stay down and you think that's a goal. You're not sort of second guessing, because the first thing that I think now when we score is there a reason for that goal not to stand, which takes away the enjoyment of the moment, really. So that's the world that I live in. So when you don't have it and you score, obviously it's a different feeling. But if you don't have it and you concede, then again I might be thinking the other way. So it's, I don't know. I'm still of the train of thought. I like the initial raw emotion you get when you score without VAR.
Yeah, and just on injuries with Nick Pope, is there any update on his situation, and could he be back for your next Premier League game?
Yeah, Nick's following the track that he was on. There's been no setback. He's on track for, I think it was 6 weeks when he did the injury initially, I think, roughly. Yeah, he's doing well. I'm sort of not in regular contact. Haven't seen him for a couple of days, so I'll see how he is today.
Next on, we've got Kieran and then Jordan to wrap up, please.
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
You got, as mentioned, a bit spiky a couple of years ago at the Emirates, to the point where you were even standing up for your team on the touchline. Do you want to see that side from your team again tomorrow?
I think you always have to stand up for each other, as long as it's in a controlled way. Don't want us to lose discipline in any way. And I think we've been pretty good with that this season. There's a line, I think, in terms of your behaviour that you don't want to cross. Don't want to be reckless. But I think we have to be strong and resolute and definitely protect each other on the pitch. And off the pitch, you know, in terms of our conduct, it's got to be, again, strong and resolute, but not reckless.
Newcastle, I think, have only won once at the Emirates. Is this a chance for you to make history? You know, it seems the team don't travel in fear to these grounds anymore.
Yeah, I think, well, aware that, you know, there's certain records that we need to do better in, and that's obviously one that we're not, we haven't done well historically, so we'd love to change that. But yeah, we can't talk about it, we've got to deliver it.
Mona, you just thought on Emil Kraft there's a chance he could be back tomorrow?
He's getting closer. He's done again. Crafty's done a lot of work. The type of injury that he had meant that he could run quite early. He could do everything other than the sort of the physical contact. So he's super fit, but we just need the bone to heal before he can take that contact again.
And Sven play on the right side of that defence on Saturday. Could we see more of that going forward, or do you prefer that right foot, left foot balance at the back?
Well, I spent most of my career playing on the left as a right footer, so I'm not adverse to utilising players in that position, because I think it all depends on the player and his ability and how comfortable he is to do it. I think Sven has the capabilities of playing there long term, because I think he's actually got a very strong right foot, although you don't see it a lot when he plays on the left. He's technically good with both feet. I think it's just a new dynamic for him, and I think it will take a little bit of time before he understands the angles, having not done it for a long time. But I'm not averse to anything that I think makes the team stronger.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right, everyone. Well, that was Eddie Howe's presser, and interesting questions there. Mighty win. Eddie felt like he wanted to say as well that at the Anthony Gordon, and I missed Postecoglou complaining. Well, he did a little bit of shooting back and said, well, we missed. They didn't give us a penalty, clear penalty. He said when he talked about that injury, which looks like it's just a superficial cut anyway.
He was in a bit of discomfort with a cut, which was a nasty looking one. Looking back, I thought it was a clear penalty. He came away from the incident with blood on himself. We dusted him down, and I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah.
But it was a clear penalty as far as I was concerned.
Yep.
Talked about that at the time, of course.
Interesting presser, man. Positive, good questions. So really no complaints. I mean, Eddie Howe seems measured now. He's always been measured, but you know, he seems in control of the situation, which is great. And you know, everything is really positive right now ahead of the Arsenal matchup tomorrow, which hopefully everything stays that way. To be fair, shout out to Benny Preck that says a true specialist in Saka is already out. Well, that's definitely going to benefit us if anything else. So, what stood out the most in this presser for you today?
He was asked about Bruno not being available.
Oh yeah.
And says the big bloke, because one of Bruno's biggest strengths is that he's always there for you. The best ability is availability, isn't it? His appearance record has been brilliant for us, especially when you consider the physical exertion he commits. He's going to be a big miss, but we have big players who can fill his shoes. And then he was asked, who could come in and replace Bruno. He says, well, look, nobody can come in and replace Bruno, and whoever does come in will have to slightly tweak the midfield to accommodate whoever he said the strength, but of course I think we all know that he means the weaknesses of anybody who does come in to replace him, because as he said, nobody can replace and do exactly what Bruno does. So which weaknesses do you have to address? How much do you have to change that midfield?
Well, here's the thing. As you know, I don't get blindsided by the, by winning in the form and think that everything is perfect. So one thing that we won't really miss or is the captain, in my opinion. Some people on X saying, now that's my captain, the only captain, a great leader. I don't know about all that yet. Certainly, he's a great footballer, and he's proven it on the pitch. So the captain leadership, you bring in Trippier in. If you do, you're going to get that. You can get that from Dan Burn leadership. You can get that from other players. But you're definitely going to miss what matters the most, and is the footballer in the midfield. So I don't think there's any question. We're going to talk about that in the preview tonight. But I think that obviously Joe Willock to me would be the closest to a talented guy that we have on the bench. So to me, you bring him in, but we'll get to that later on, of course. So stay tuned. At 9 p.m. UK tonight, 9 p.m. UK, we do the match preview. But certainly a miss. Certainly a miss with Bruno, without Bruno.
Actually, I don't know whether it still stands that we've never won a game. We certainly haven't won a Premier League game without Bruno in the side.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of I need to check, but I'm pretty sure that's still the case. It certainly was the case, well into this season. And if you remember last season when he was walking the tightrope with a yellow, if he got another yellow card, he was going to be suspended. That was certainly the stats then, because everybody was pooping their pants. If he gets suspended, we've never won a game without him. So that was a worry then. Whether it's so much a worry now, not so sure. Because I think the rest of the team now are functioning much, much better than they've ever been, really. And I think the results prove that. So can you carry a passenger? Well, we're pretty used to doing that. And
yeah.
albeit that has been with Bruno there, I think the rest of the squad now are at levels which are above where they were before.
And also, we didn't have Tonali available, so we don't know. If he's in the middle, we should, in my opinion, we should be good. He praised the midfield three, of course. He said they're very good athletes and are aware of the importance of the ball. The great thing about those three is that they recognize the team needs to perform in both places of the game, phases of the game, with and without the ball, which is great.
Without the ball, yep.
But most importantly, though, in this, aside from the games, which we have a lot of games in January, but it's a transfer window month, and it's a transfer month, and 6 days in, to be honest, the rumor mill has been dross. I mean, I don't see any substantial articles written or true rumors out there by big media outlets for Newcastle United. If anything, it's about players leaving or people wanting Isak. But it's only 6 days in, though, so you can say that. But it's only a month, so
yeah. But listen, I like that, and I've said this umpteen times before.
But it didn't work before, so
because when we got all our decent signings, nobody was talking about us going for them. So let's just see how it plays out.
Well, about will it be a quiet month? He answered, I'm not on the front line, which is kind of the first time he's actually evaded that question because he's been answering. He's been saying that he expects to be a quiet month. So why now change it to I'm not on the front line? I'm not speaking to agents and get interactions. Others around the club will have a better understanding than me. I don't think it has taken too many turns from how I thought it would be. That is not to say anything is cut and dry. It might just take one big move somewhere to start a chain reaction. We are ready for anything, and we are able to be flexible, he says. I'm still not.
So he's saying that I'm not on the front line, but we're ready for anything. We're ready to be flexible. Yeah, he's on the front line, all right, but they're just not giving anything away. And obviously they're not feeding the pet. You know the pet leaks. They're not putting beer on their leeks to make them grow and win the competition. You'll not know about leek growing competitions over there, will you?
Mm.
Big sport in the northeast of England. The leek. You tend them all year round. Everybody's got secret recipes that they feed the leeks to make them huge. Win the prizes at the club. Big prizes in some cases.
Stephen
Back in the day, there was one club in the northeast where the winner of the league show won a car, and there was sabotage going on everywhere. People were, the members were going round other people's allotments and slashing their leaks, and all sorts of skullduggery going on.
Terry Bilton says, can't see this window being as good as people think. I don't think so either. I think we're going to sign anybody. That's my just realistic opinion, not positive or negative. I think it's just, I just don't see it. Maybe I hope I'm wrong.
I'll be gutted if you're wrong.
You'll be gutted if I'm wrong. You'll be gutted if I'm right, because I don't think we'll sign anybody. Stephen, what's Stephen Harker in here? Look at the word no back, Hammersmith, or leaks. What does he mean there?
Well, no leaks. He's meaning, Luke Edwards. If he is that pet dog, he's not getting fed anything.
Well, he's certainly their pet dog, Eddie Howe's pet dog. Luke Edwards.
Well, let's see, and he's not getting any doggy biscuits at the minute.
Luke Edwards, man, I just don't get it, man. He talks and types just like another fan. I mean, he has literally, every question he asks, he talks about, he's literally like a student giving an apple to the teacher every time he comes to class. He tries to be a teacher's pet, man. Yeah, look, man, you got a job to do, man. But they pay him still, so I guess that he must be doing something right. But it's just I cannot stand journalists that go out there and just try to be just happy clapping, man. And I'm not talking about the fan thing, happy clapper that way. I'm talking about trying to get on the good side of the protagonist and just it just gives me the ick, man. I don't know. I just cannot stand it. Journalists are out there to do a certain thing, to ask questions. It's not a party, man. You gotta just ask the damn question. And I thought it was a great press conference for the most part, anyway. Yeah, Ali says Chris looks thoroughly disinterested in the leak chat. Yeah, I have no clue what the leak is, man. I really don't care less. But one thing about Dubravka, though, that question, he said we're just concentrating on the games. Massive game against Tottenham, blah blah blah. There's been no talk of anything other than our matches. He's not answering that question, and it's a massive one. I don't know. I just couldn't see the club letting him go this early. To be honest, if they do, it's not good. Because now you got to bring in Vlachodimos, who I have no clue. I don't have any clue how he will perform. So
Listen, as far as Vlachodimos is concerned, the very, very limited time that we've seen him play, we saw him, I think it was one half in the Hull friendly, where he made a couple of good saves, and his footwork looked okay. And listen, he's the Greek international goalie. And Greece are doing pretty well at the minute. So, they beat England, for God's sake, with him in goal at Wembley. So, is he that bad?
Why?
Here's the thing. Nottingham Forest fans thought he was garbage when he was playing for them. Look at Matt Sells at Nottingham Forest now.
But
when we
goalkeeping at
had
Forest
him,
is
he
not the
was
same as
garbage.
goalkeeper. Goalkeeping at Forest is not the same as goalkeeping at Newcastle, though.
They've got they had the best defense in the league until recently.
Come on, man! It's just a spell, man. Wake up! I said it on the Premier League network. I mean, we're all thinking it. Nobody wants to say it. That Forest will fall. No,
I've said it.
No. So it's they're having a good season, but
they said the same about us when we were up there.
Yeah, but Dubravka. So why not then put Vlachodimos instead of Dubravka? Best opportunity. He's leaving, so put Vlachodimos in. Get him ready.
What, on Tuesday?
No, I'm talking about when Pope got injured. If you know your goalkeeper, if Dubravka's leaving, and you already, come on, man. Dubravka didn't go to the preseason. Remember when he was missing some games. He was expected to leave. So
yeah,
if that's the case, and now it's getting confirmed. The more we get to the date that he's going to leave.
Cut your cloth according to your, the suit you need. Dubs are hot. I wouldn't be changing Dubs right now.
Not right now. But I'm saying, if you knew your goalkeeper was going to leave, why not give Vlachodimos the chance to get himself,
because it's
match
too
ready?
Risky.
Well, so it's too risky to let Dubravka leave then, because if he leaves in the winter, or this month.
Well, it's up. That's what I'm saying. It's up to us whether we allow him to leave this month. The only difference between him leaving this month and leaving in summer is that if he leaves in summer, we don't get a penny for him. If we let him go now, we could get a few million, maybe.
Well, clearly something is going on, because their rumors are heavy that he's leaving. So something is going on. And if it was easy to say, okay, the club says no, well, then it would have been, answer already. He's not leaving. But clearly the club must be thinking about it, or I don't know what's going on. But hopefully he doesn't leave. It would affect us, in my opinion, if he leaves. This month. And the fact that Eddie Howe is evading that question instead, because if he knew he was staying, he would say Dubravka's staying. It's all good. But he doesn't know that.
Well, he was asked. He was asked whether the Dubravka transfer, he was quizzed about that, and he said, "We're just concentrating on the games. Massive game against Tottenham, then a massive game at Arsenal. There's been no talk of anything other than our matches." No, of course that's what he's saying.
But if he knew if he knew he was staying, he would say he was staying.
Well, they may be negotiating with him. They've got until the 31st of January.
Well, hopefully they get it sorted. Certainly. Now, another miss will be Fabian Schär, of course, but we talked about Botman, and it looks like Eddie Howe's very happy with Botman, so I have no doubt that he will be playing over Fabian Schär, unless you think otherwise.
Over Lloyd Kelly, that's the thing. I would have liked somebody to ask what the logic there was. Is Lloyd Kelly ready? Do you think he's ready, etc., etc., etc.?
Yeah, that could have been a good
Because
question.
he was asked about Botman. What did he say about Botman again? Where was it?
I had it right here in front of me.
Oh yeah, it said he feels good. This is Botman. Naturally, a little bit of fatigue at the end of the game. It was a long absence, but he's trained for a long, long time for this moment. From the Aston Villa game onwards, he's been cleared to play, but we wanted to give him longer to try and reach his best physical levels. Straight into action, did very well, really pleased with him. I wonder that little bit there. We wanted to give him longer to try and reach his best physical levels. I wonder if that was Bunce exerting his authority, and if so, and if it proves to be the right thing to do, good on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder whether Eddie might have had him in sooner. Had he had his way, perhaps. I don't know. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But certainly after the first 3 minutes, he had a better game. But no, he didn't have a brilliant game, which is a lot of people have been saying.
Nah, I thought he did. They had a really good game, man. Well, what else do you have from the presser that you'd like to bring up before we move on?
No, I think we've more or less we're done on
It's a pretty tranquil presser. Luke Edwards, of course, bringing in.
You've already done the outgoing sales. The business logic is taken over from the football logic. There may be football decisions you'd like to make. Nothing was bigger than the previous summer when we had to lose two highly promising young players. We were forced to. We had no choice. That's very much the business taken over from the football. And I think we are still in that position. And as far as the transfers were concerned, which we've already discussed, I'm not on the front line, so to speak. I'm leaving that to others.
Which is crazy, by the way. We have not heard a damn thing from Paul Mitchell, man. So he better be working.
Well, that's. I hope he hasn't just been working since January the 1st. I hope he's been working since September the 1st.
We'll have to hear from him at the end of this month, certainly. He's going to have to speak up.
Got a nice, thick dossier to say to Eddie, there you go, son, take your pick. They're all lined up.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would expect he's got.
Well, we shall see, man. We shall see.
You know, a load of deals all lined up, just ready to go like that. Which one do you... That's your choice. Which ones do you want? And Eddie
Hopefully,
says,
that's the case.
None of them. I want more gay.
There we go. That would be the issue then.
Wouldn't that set 100 grenade off in the camp?
And listen, folks. Tonight, 9 p.m. we got the match preview of Arsenal and Newcastle. So we're going to be talking about there. We're going to be talking about the midfield, the defense, everything that we need to come up with, that we need to fix before that game starts. Of course, Arsenal, talk about their lineup as well and whatever team news we got. So stay tuned. Join us at 9 p.m. tonight. And yeah,
are we doing the December giveaway?
Oh yeah, we do need a giveaway, don't we? Yeah, we certainly will do something. Definitely. So join us tonight. If you're a member, giveaway. If you're not a member, become a member. So you'll get something. Whatever it is, you'll get it for free if you're a member of the channel. And I believe extra time is at midnight as well. So stay tuned for that one. Josh and Ben should be doing that one. So anyways, it's been great. It's been lovely. Mighty win. We'll see tonight. We'll see you tonight. I think Brent is coming, trying to get somebody else. Gary is sick, of course, so he won't be able to join. But regardless, we'll bring you the shows. Thank you so much for your support, folks. And we shall see you in the next one.
See you in the next
See you tonight.
one. How are the lads?
Bye-bye.